Movement in Fortnite is like basketball. Sure, you can have a lethal shot, but if you add a complete package to your gameplay, well now, you're just unstoppable. Today, we're diving deep into all things movement, with a system designed to take the pressure off your aim. Instead, it shifts your focus towards dodging shots and mastering enemy positioning. Like anything else, it all begins with fundamentals. One of the most common mistakes I see in my training sessions is players getting too eager to move without first mastering the core mechanics of Zero Build. You've got to microdose the knowledge bit by bit. Start by letting the enemy come to you and using blind spots in your environment to set up moves as they push in. This approach gives you your first real taste of movement and how it works. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a gun. And with the right training, any average Joe can do it.
Remember the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
The 5 Ds of dodging rely on your ability to transition into a tactical sprint and slide towards a counter position that forces your opponent to retract their aim. Watch and listen for audio cues to adjust your directional movement faster. Learn the fire rate of shotguns to better time your moves between shots. Even auto shotguns, with their quicker fire rate, it amplifies shiftier movement and creates shot dodging opportunities. Remember, mistakes are inevitable. When a move is miscalculated, you'll know based on where your crosshairs land. If you find yourself overextending your tracking, apply a second move to extend the juke into a position where your crosshairs can meet center mass with the ops. Movement is the canvas. No motion is wasted. Like Bob Ross, mistakes become happy accidents and spectacular jukes. Advanced movement is more than dodging bullets. It's about where you're moving to dodge them. Sliding or jumping is pointless if it's into an enemy's line of sight. Instead, study the details. How aggressively are they pushing? And which direction is their momentum carrying them? For example, my opponent is pushing hard, with momentum pulling to my back right shoulder. If I can force them to transfer that energy into a counterintuitive spot, I create horizontal and vertical misalignment, making them overcorrect their aim. But Webby, what if you're up against a movement sweat? Play to the strengths of your loadout. In a close quarters loadout, mirror your opponent's direction, and use slides to cut off their angle until you suffocate their spacing. With a medium to long range loadout, use anti-mirror strafing to create separation. In other words, if they move right, counter hard left into a slide, track back, and laser them during the separation. If an enemy gets behind you, don't panic. The faster you react, the more likely you can make their move backfire. My opponent bunny hops over me, grabbing position advantage. Most players would turn around and track, but that's predictable and risky. Instead, I note their angle and mirror their direction with a back shoulder fade to my left, then drop into a slide and switch directions, cutting under their backside for a 180-degree burn. Let's test your reaction time. My opponent is wedged way too close to my back left shoulder. What's the move? If you answered mirror strafe left into a slide, give yourself a pat on the back. Picture yourself as a cog in a gear. Turn in the right direction to keep ticking and out of their line of sight. Scenario 2. The room is way too tight, and their momentum is shifting behind me, off to my right. Now this was a tricky one. The safer bet is to actually move forward, slide, and backtrack my joystick towards the enemy just before I cancel my slide. When I first started this journey into movement, I was mocked and told, "That's not what the pros are doing, Webby." 3 chapters later, and I've cemented a legacy. Many of the moves I've taught are now staples in both BR and creative. It's like a game of chess. I'm over here sliding my knight to f6, baiting their queen into taking the pawn on e5, only to reveal the bishop lurking on c4 for a devastating checkmate they never saw coming. If you're tired of playing checkers, join my Discord for hands-on coaching. Together, We'll turn your zero build tactics into mental warfare. This guy. My shotty blanked. It wouldn't shoot, but we got it. Oh, you little...